Yo, what is good, yo? It's your boy Zab back here with another video. And in this video today, we are going to be doing a video on the badges. Not only the badges, the top badges in the game. So I say the top badges because we're going to be going over the must-have top tier badges. Be going over some of the okay badges. Good is basically a mediocre badge. Usable is like, okay, it's on a card, but it's not really, that great. And then worthless is like, I literally don't care about this badge. So we're going to be going over all of the badges in this game today. Before we dive any further into that, if you are new to my channel and have not yet, please consider smash that subscribe button as we're on the road to 90,000 subscribers. So this list is more for my team than anything else, okay? So this is my team specific. We're going to be breaking down, are they better, in Pro-Am and those types of things as well. But just remember, this list is basically my team. It's heavily my team. So Acrobat, here's the thing. Acrobat's not a very good badge. Is it usable? Is it a badge that if you have it on a card, it might come in handy? Yeah. I mean, it is. It is a usable badge. If you attack the rim, maybe you can get a crazy finish around the rim with Acrobat. Now, finishes around this rim, around the rim, especially this year, are just absolutely crazy. So I don't know how much Acrobat is necessarily going to come in handy for you, but at the end of the day, it's not even a good badge. It's not even that good level, but it is a usable badge nonetheless. Ankle braces is a top tier badge. It's not a must have, I don't think, but it is a top tier badge in NBA 2K22 MyTEAM. It's a badge that if you have it, you're not going to get stunned very much. And if you don't get stunned on next gen, it is so hard for your opponent to score in my team. I'm telling you guys right now, it is absolutely nearly impossible for your opponent to score in my team if you have ankle braces on and never get stunned. It's quite honestly that simple. I like ankle braces as well because if I press, I just know I'm not going to get stunned and then just be out of the play from there. Now, ankle breaker is going to join ankle braces in that top tier badges. It's not necessarily a must-have badge, right? It's not a badge that you're like, okay, you must have ankle breaker, but it's nice. You get crazy. It basically is a combat from ankle braces, right? Ankle breaker, ankle braces. There's a combat to it. So both of those are definitely top tier in my opinion. Now, back down Punisher, I'm sorry. For my point guard, shooting guard, small forward, and heck, even my power forward, I really don't. And honestly, and my center, I really don't care about back down Punisher because somebody's going to have brick wall. And by the time, to get in the dead zone, you don't use back down Punisher. You get in the dead zone by running to the dead zone. I'm sorry, but I've not been post-spun into the dead zone very much, or I rarely have I been punished in that. Now, I will say the only time back down Punisher comes in where it'd be the usable kind of category, and maybe I'll keep it in that usable category, is because if people want to switch every screen and then their point guard is on my center, then I guess it can be in that usable category. I'm going to keep it there for now, but back down Punisher is not a badge that I think is very good in my team. Next up is Bailout. Again, I'm going to put it in good. Bailout's a badge that, yes, it is good to have, but how many times do you actually need the Bailout badge? I play the game, and I don't know, I force a ton of Bailout passes, but they don't need Bailout to make a pass. Nobody needs Bailout to make a pass. It's crazy how effective making passes out of shots is. Bailout's a good badge, but it's definitely not, it's not needed. It's good, but it's not needed. Ball Stripper is a badge that I think is a top tier badge. Here's the reason why. Because it takes away drop steps. That's the first thing. It takes away, honestly getting mashed a lot of times, or you might be able to get a rip on a guy attacking the rim. It's less useful this year, than, tapping the steal button in past years because of how overpowered blocks are right now in my team. It's just the way it is. In general, though, I think Ball Stripper right now is a top tier badge. Blinder is another one of those top tier badges. I don't think it's a must-have badge for all your players. If you are, are a cheese ball, it might be for you in your 300 type builds. It is that top tier badge. It's not going to be a lot of must-have badges because it's rare to need a badge in this game. There are going to be some as we go through here. But it is a solid badge, but again, I do not think it is in that must-have category. Now, A must-have badge if you are a center is box. I'm telling you guys this right now, even if you're a power forward, you need box. Otherwise, if you do not have box, or if your box is on, bronze, your opponent has, gold or Hall of Fame worm, you're going to get swam around nearly every single time. So if you're a center and don't have box, it's going to be pretty tough for you. So I'm going to say, if you want to, play a small forward, a power forward, box is one of those badges that I'd recommend putting on. Break starter, I think break starter is more usable in like a pro-am type setting. If you're a center, in my team, it's not really needed because full court passes aren't really like that in general. Anyway, I'll put it in usable. It's not necessarily that overpowered. Maybe it's better on current gen than next gen, but in my team, it's just one of those badges that's okay. And in pro-am, I know break starter is probably pretty souped. My team is just okay. Now, brick wall, again, this is a badge that is top tier. Now, brick wall is a little interesting this year specifically because a lot of people run 2-man and stuff like that. So if you run 2-man in which your shooting guard has to set screens, it's not necessarily, I don't know. I don't set many screens in my 2-guard anyways, but if you got a big guy with Hall of Fame brick wall compared to gold, you're going to notice it. I mean, it is a very, very good badge. I'll put it in that top tier category. Bullet passer, it might come as a surprise. I'm putting it in must have. I mean, especially for guards, a lot of the guys you're going to handle the ball with, if they do not have bullet passer on anything, you might struggle a little bit. Even on centers, it is such an asset to have a guy with bullet passer. I mean, I can't stress that enough. It is very, very important. Catch and shoot, I've always thought people do not hype up catch and shoot enough. I'm going to move brick wall down because catch and shoot, in my opinion, is just more valuable for everybody. It's kind of the counter for everything, right? If a player doesn't have catch and shoot, then it hurts. But catch and shoot, you don't need corner specialist for. It's going to activate in the catch and shoot situation. You always, even from the top of the key, you don't need range extender, limitless spot up for it because it's still going to activate no matter what. It's just kind of that do-it-all type of badge that I think is so valuable. Chase that artist, I'm going to put in that good category. Again, it's a good badge to have. Absolutely, it's a good badge to have. It's just not necessarily that top tier badge. I mean, you're going to get blocks this year anyways. Now, obviously, with Chase that artist, it's a different beast. But blocks this year in my team are just overpowered anyways. Now, the Chef versus Limitless Spot Up badge it's one that, I mean, a lot of people go back and forth. I personally think Limitless Spot Up activates way more than Chef in my team specifically. I don't know what it is about it, but I think Limitless Spot Up is the badge you need to shoot from deep over Chef. Now, obviously, that combo is good to have. Chef's supposed to be for off dribble shots. Limitless Spot Up is just for, catch and shoot. But even if you, have a standstill 3-ball, which basically all mine are, Limitless Spot Up pops up every single time. You guys might hate me for putting Chef in the good tier, but for me, it's not needed, right? I mean, if you have Limitless Spot Up, for example, I don't even put Chef on my Gary Payton. That's how, I think other badges are usable instead of Chef. If that's your favorite badge in the game, do what you guys got to do. Next up here, guys, we do see Circus 3s, and again, here's the deal. A lot of people love Circus 3s, and if you shoot a lot of drifters and difficult shots, maybe Circus 3s is a badge for you. To me, it's not needed. I mean, I think especially in competitive settings, I do not shoot that many Circus 3s. That's my opinion. Now, obviously, if you drift to the corner, do any of that cheesy type stuff, Circus 3s or even difficult shots is a good badge to have. For me, it's just usable, right? It's a badge that if he doesn't have, I'm probably not putting on players, but it's a nice kind of bonus to have. It's not quite in that worthless category, which we will get to some worthless badges, and they're going to be up for debate, but there are some worthless badges in this game. Clamps, I'm going to put in top tier. Do I think Clamps is a must-have badge? No, I do not. I don't think Clamps is a must-have badge. It's not like Penny Hardaway is just an absolute liability like he was on Kurt, or a guy without clamps. Even without clamps last year, you could maybe get by with it with speed and lateral quickness. This year, it's even to a greater extent. Like, clamps is really good. I just don't think it's a must-have badge. Like, if a center doesn't have box, right, you're going to absolutely get fried. If a guy doesn't have point guard, at point guard, you aren't going to get nearly as many open shots. Clamps might get moved up. Probably the best badge at this top tier. I just think there's other badges that are a little bit better. Clutch shooter, I'm going to put in usable. Now, if you play Park, yes, clutch shooter is good. If you play even the new mode, right? The new mode in my team, the clutch time mode, then clutch shooter becomes one of the best badges in the game. But for me specifically, over the course of an unlimited game, clutch shooter is a useless badge. It is a useless badge for the majority of the MyTEAM unlimited game. Because of that, it's only in the usable category. Corner specialist is a good badge. It's not top tier because with how random MyTEAM, it's not like your guy is gonna go be in the corner at all times, right? In Pro-Am, if you have a power forward, he's probably going to that corner at all times. In MyTEAM, he could be all over the place. Corner specialist is a good badge, not as valuable as a catch and shoot type of badge. Deadeye, a top tier badge in MyTEAM, and I don't think anybody is going to disagree with that. Deadeye is top tier. Now, with Deadeye, specifically speaking, that and kind of blinders are both really good badges for 300s, right? Even a Deadeye in the catch and shoot setting, you're going to get lesser contest. That's just a really solid badge to have in general. Now, defensive leader. Here's the thing about defensive leader. It's not worthless, but you only need one dude on the court with defensive leader. Now, it's a usable badge, right? It's not a top tier badge. Obviously, there's only one player at the time I'm recording this with Hall of Fame defensive leader, and that's Ben Wallace. Now, as we go on, I feel like we're just going to see a ton of people with Hall of Fame defensive leaders. So just stay for the lookout, right? The first player that's really good that gets Hall of Fame defensive leader is a card to look at because that is an important badge, but we're gonna near a time where that is going to become a worthless badge. Difficult shots, I'm gonna put in the good category, I guess. Here's my thing with difficult shots. I don't shoot enough difficult shots for it to be any better. I'm actually going to just put it down to usable. I maybe take 2 or 3 a game, and that's just on the break. And Clay might already have difficult shots, or whoever your shooting guard is. It's not necessarily a badge that you need. The thing is, if you're going to shoot a lot of drifters, a lot of those tough shots, then yes, difficult shots is a big badge. For me, I just don't shoot a lot of them. Dimer, right in the good category. It's not a top tier badge, right? I mean, it's not a badge that's going to be a make or break. You should be able to green or knock down shots anyway. But with the Dimer boost, it does help, right? There's no debating that. Dimer just definitely helps in general. Downhill, not a worthless badge, just not a souped up badge in MyTEAM. I mean, maybe eventually we'll start noticing that downhill really is suit, but right now, it's just okay. It's just okay. Dream Shake, you guys might hate me. I'm putting it into the worthless category. I just am. I'm putting it into the worthless category because no matter what DBG says, no matter what anybody says, if you're using Dream Shake, all I can say is yikes. All I can say is yikes if you are using Dream Shake that much and relying on it. It's not really that tough. Dream Shake is not tough. A lot of people can hype it up, but I guarantee at least 50% of you guys watching this video can't even use Dream Shake. Drop stepper, I'm going to talk about this one a little bit. Without revealing all the sauce, there's a way to get a stop every time you get drop step. Nearly every single time you get drop step, there's a way to get a stop on it. So how valuable even is drop stepper? How many times do I use drop stepper? I can't remember the last time I've drop stepped somebody. Because of how often you get stops on drop steps, I never even drop step anybody anymore. And maybe I should. Maybe I should start doing it, but I hate, the defender getting a free stop every time I do use the drop stepper. Now, if you have the drop stepper and then whatever the unstrippable badge, both of those, then obviously the drop stepper goes up a bit. I'm going to put it in usable, but it is nearly worthless like Fade Ace. Now, when I say Fade Ace is worthless category comes down to I do not care if cards have this badge at all. Not one bit. Fade Ace, I've used it on Carmelo before. I'm pretty sure Carmelo Anthony has Fade Ace, and I've used it before and knocked down, fadeaways because of it. But the problem is, I don't shoot enough post fades to really utilize the badge. Now, if you guys utilize Fade Ace a lot, then do what you got to do. But for me, it's worthless. Fast twitch. If you're a center, that is way more valuable than drop stepper. With how mashing is right now in 2K, fast twitch is so much more valuable than drop stepper. It's just the way it is. It's a good badge. The difference between, gold and Hall of Fame fast twitch or even any of the fast twitches isn't that much. It's just kind of a steady line that goes up. Basically just allows you to go up quicker. It's basically what it is. Fearless finisher, just a usable badge. It's not anything crazy, right? But if you go up, against somebody else, fearless finisher can help you score the ball. Floor general, we've seen a lot of people with floor general, so it's not super high. I'm gonna put it in usable again. It's not that badge that you're like, wow, floor general, it's a must-have badge. But like DeJounte Murray, for example, the new one we have, got the Hall of Fame floor general, and that's a difference to put him above the other ones that look basically identical to the card. Giant Slayer, I mean, it's a usable badge. How many times should you have a 3-inch difference that you're really testing somebody? It shouldn't be too often. But sometimes you might get a free layup out of it. Like, it'll go uncontested, and it's credit for that Giant Slayer badge. So we have a lot of these usable badges that are just okay, but I don't even think they're good. Glue Hands is a must-have badge. I'm telling you guys, Glue Hands. Whoever knew that 2K would make a badge in which we need to catch the ball? I mean, it doesn't make sense to me, but Glue Hands is a must-have badge. It's crazy. We got a badge called Glue Hands, and it's a must-have badge in my team. Grace Under Pressure is another badge I think is good. I mean, it's similar. It's going to kind of go hand in hand with that Fast Twitch badge. You're under the basket. You got to do mash. Grace Under Pressure is going to help you score those types of, on those types of possessions. So both those are good badges, not necessarily top tier badges though. Our next badge here is Green Machine, and Green Machine's one that I don't think is as good as people say. Now, when I say that it boosts after consecutive greens, in which, in let's say tight games or games you actually need the best badges, Green Machine, unless you're like, here's the thing, if you're in Pro-Am or Park and you shoot a lot of shots with one player, then yes, Green Machine can be usable. My team, you got 5 players. It's more balanced. I'm just going to throw it in usable. It's not what the badge used to be. I just have a hard time. Obviously, in Unlimited, when you fry people with one player, then yes, Green Machine's super active. But nowadays, who's even the best scorer in my team? Who's a guy that you can get a constant bucket with? I don't know. So Green Machine, I'm only going to put in usable right now. Handles for days for a point guard is a must-have badge in my team. I can't stress enough, or for anybody that makes plays. Otherwise, after you do 2 dribble moves, your dude is literally blinking on the court. Handles for days is so important. Can't stress it to you guys enough. If you don't have handles for days on the highest thing, or it upgraded on your player, man, it is so valuable. Hook Specialist, guys, I'm sorry, it's worthless. Hook Specialist is absolutely worthless. I'm sorry if it makes you mad, but oh my goodness, I can't remember if I've taken a hook shot in all of my team this year. Hot Zone Hunter is a really good badge. It's a top tier badge. I mean, similar to Catch and Shoot, it's not a badge that can just be used in corners. It's a badge that is, usable nearly everywhere around the arc. And we're gonna start seeing cards with hot spots from everywhere on the court. Early on in my team, a lot of times I won't give everybody hot spots from everywhere, but now everybody's going to get hot spots, and Hot Zone Hunter is just going to become more and more valuable. Hustler, I mean, it's weird badges, but guys, I'm telling you guys, Hustler is a must-have badge. If you get a deflection, Hustler is what is a make or break from getting the ball after it. It's a weird badge to say it's a must-have badge, but it is. Hustler is one of those badges that I'd rather have compared to a chef on any player. It's just the way it is. You guys can disagree if you want to, but Hustler is a very important badge that is slept on so much. Next up, we do see Hyperdrive. Now, the common question is, what's better, Ty? Hyperdrive or Quick Chain, right? That is a common question that people ask quite a bit. Here's what I'll say. Hyperdrive for me, right now with the new patch in the game, is just as good of, if not better than Quick Chain. Because to kind of do the new burst in 2K, it's activated by Hyperdrive. It really is. Now, Quick Chain still is important and still see some guys use it in that Pro-Am type of setting. I just think Hyperdrive right now in my team is a little bit more important. Neither one of them are must-have badges, though, in my opinion. I'm actually going to move Hyperdrive and Quick Chain to the same thing. I don't think either of them are quite as important as everything at that top tier. Interceptor, I'm sorry, it's a must-have badge. Now, the difference between Gold and Hall of Fame Interceptor is so big, and I'm pretty sure it's probably a main reason why I'm putting Interceptor in that must-have category. The difference is literally crazy between Gold and Hall of Fame Interceptor. It is so crazy to me. But, I mean, if you don't have Interceptor, it's not like you're automatically going to lose the game. But it's one of those things that can be game-changing. And on defenses, for a guy that doesn't guard ball, Interceptor is probably that most important badge. Intimidator too, man. Sorry. These are the types of badges that in 2K have always been the two kind of duo badges. Interceptor, Intimidator, they've been that duo. They are still both top badges in my team. Limitless Spot Up. You guys might hate me for this as well. I love Limitless Spot Up. I absolutely love Limitless Spot Up more than Chef. I think it's a must-have badge in my team. I really do. I think for 5 out or even for the pick and pop game, having Limitless Spot Up with a popper that can pop to that limitless range is so valuable. Gonna put it into that must-have category as well. So had 3 in a row at that must-have category. Now we get Limitless Takeoff, which is a top-tier badge. I don't think it's a must-have badge. People have learned until we get, the really good dunks that you see, pro-am guards have. Limitless Takeoff is just, it's not what it seems to be. You're better at just mashing somebody than trying to dunk the ball from anywhere in this game. It's just the way it is with my team right now. It's tough to get a dunk without getting blocked. Limitless Takeoff, I'll throw it in that top tier. Lob City Finisher, I mean, I don't throw lobs in this game. First of all, lobs are not good in this game. Second of all, and third of all, I mean, is there really a need for Lob City Finisher? No. It is an absolutely worthless badge in my team. Lucky 7, I mean, with the clutch time mode, I'll throw it in the good category because then you're going to be taking a lot of shots probably in those first 7 seconds. In my team, it's pretty rare unless you really get on the break, then Lucky 7 is so overpowered. I do look for players if they do have Lucky 7 because then I'm more inclined to shoot anything in that first kind of little bit of the shot clock. That's why you see people hit crazy stuffs on breaks sometimes. It's a very good badge. Lucky 7 is something, I mean, even in play now that you can look for because Russell Westbrook, I think, has it on Hall of Fame. Menace, similar to Clamps, I mean, they're both top tier badges. I think Menace is one of the most underrated badges in the game. Now, Menace is a badge that works after you get the bump. So, Clamps, you get the bump, then it's Menace that really takes over and you can go absolutely crazy with it. Both those badges are really solid in 2K. Those are two pretty solid badges that I like, pretty much. Mismatch Expert, here's the problem with Mismatch Expert. I mean, I'm going to put it in the good category. First of all, my first question is this. Mismatch Expert right now in my team isn't great because how many point guards are now? With Allen Iverson, it might be cheesy because whoever's going to be guarding him, he's going to get that Mismatch Expert kind of bonus. But right now, first of all, even with Mismatch Expert, you're going to be shooting a lot of lightlies. And lightlies are tough to knock down. Now, people knock them down, but they're tough to knock down. Second of all, it's just like, even with Mismatch Expert, it's not like an automatic open. You can still jump at it and, get a heavy on it. So, I don't know. Mismatch Expert, if you are a cheeseball and like left-righting around screens, whatever the case is, you might want it in top tier, even must-have. But for a guy like me, I don't know if I'll ever actually use that Mismatch Expert badge. Mouse in the house, I'm going to put in a usable category. It does help, right, if you do get a guard switched onto a big. The big will literally bully that smaller guard. Similar, I mean, it works well with Back Down Punisher. It's one of those badges that helps with mashing. Not worthless, but not a souped up badge in my team. Needle Threader, a good badge, right? We've seen kind of the Needle Threader kind of trend since last year, right, where you can throw those passes that might normally get tipped but gets through because of Needle Threader. It's a good badge. It's a solid badge. It's not a badge that, for centers or power forwards I'm applying to them, but it is a useful badge for guards in 2K. Off-ball pest, I mean, guys, does off-ball pest really matter too much? I'll put it in usable because, like, if you get, here's the thing. Here's the way I look at it. Anything in usable is like, okay, if I get that Hall of Fame badge, I'm not the most mad because I can use it. If I get Dream Shake, Fade Ace, Hook Specialist, or Lob City Finisher as a Hall of Fame badge, I am punching the air. Like, those badges stink. Off-ball pest, especially, for getting bumps off-ball, it can help. It's just not one of the most important badges in 2K. Now, Pig Dodger, I'm sorry, guys. It is a must-have badge in my team. I'm going to throw Clamps up here as well because of how much I like Clamps. Pig Dodger is one of those things. If you have a guy on ball that has Hall of Fame Pig Dodger, it's going to be tough for the opponent to get open. It's just going to be tough. If you have Clamps and Pig Dodger, it's going to be so tough for them to be able to make a play. It's one of those badges that, I mean, you wouldn't necessarily think, okay, it's a must-have badge, but with as many screens as are set in my team, it's crazy. All it takes is one big brick wall screen for you to absolutely get clobbered. Pickpocket, it's one of those badges that when the game first came out, Pickpocket was so overpowered. It's still a good badge, and the big difference is Pickpocket on Unpluckable. That's really what I noticed. So for example, if you have a big man dribbling the ball, or even a guy like Giannis or a guy with low ball handle, Pickpocket is going to be able to expose that pretty solid. I mean, you're going to be able to get some rips. I still would look at Pick Dodger more than Pickpocket just because of how the game is played right now. But both those badges are really solid on the defense end. And you're going to see a lot of these defensive badges. I'm going to be pretty high on Pogo Stick. I'll put it in the good category. With mashing this year, Pogo Stick is decently valuable. Now, kind of what I'd say to combat that is the difference between all the Pogo Sticks aren't really too crazy. Now, Pogo Stick definitely does help. And if you do have a center, it's probably in that top tier category. But it's just not something that I really look at too much. I mean, I don't jump that much inside anyways, and maybe that's part of my problem. But even with Hall of Fame Pogo, it's still tough to get a paint stop, and that's why it is only in the good category. Now, post-lockdown, I'm going to put it in the good category as well, especially for a guy like, a guy like Penny Hardaway or anybody that might switch onto a center. So let's say like a KD, Carmelo Anthony type player. If they have post-lockdown, I'm no longer worried about them switching onto a big, because either one of two things going to happen. First of all, if like my guy has brick wall, it's going to be tough to back them down. Second off, if they can't use back down Punisher and back me down, if I have ball stripper, I'm probably going to get a stop. It's just the way it is in my team right now. Post lockdown is at the start of that, right? As long as they can't, swim through you in the post. I like post lockdown. I think it's a solid badge in 2K. Post playmaker up next, and post playmaker is one of those usable badges. Like if a guy has it, I mean, it might eventually come in handy, but how many times do I post up anywhere or have the ball in the post? Not very many is your answer. So I'll take it into usable category, but it's not one of my must-have badges in 2K. Post spin technician, our first post badge, that really gets out of that worthless tier. Like post spinning, obviously the swim through is what I'm talking about with that. It's better than Dream Shake, it's better than Fade Ace, it's better than Hook Specialist, and it's better than Lob City. It might come in handy for you guys if you do work out in the post. For me, I never do post moves in general, so it's not one of my main goals. But I guess post spin technician is sort of usable. Posterizer, I'm gonna put it into that good category. I mean, if you attack the rim, posterizer is one of the things that, I mean, it can be very handy. You put somebody in the rim, first of all, it makes you feel good. Second of all, I mean, it just gets you 2 points. So, do like that posterizer badge. Now, I got a question for you guys. This Pro Touch badge. Now, the definition of Pro Touch is it boosts whatever for good layup timing. Now, my thing is this. If you don't use layup timing, does that make Pro Touch worthless? And I think it does. So, I mean, I don't have layup timing on, and I'm telling you guys, if you have it on, to take it off, and I don't think Pro Touch helps on anything else. So, until somebody proves, I could be completely wrong, and if I am, please leave it down below in the comments, but unless somebody proves me wrong and says Pro Touch boosts it even without timing the layup, which goes against what the badge says, it literally is worthless. Putback Boss is one of the worst badges in usable tier. It's usable because if you do get a rebound and, go up with it, I guess that's credit to Putback Boss, but it's not a badge I really look for. It's probably the worst badge in that usable tier. It's just not very good. Quick first step, we're going all the way up to a must-have badge. Now, if you're a guard and you don't have quick first step, it is so noticeable and it is a big problem. Meanwhile, if you have Hall of Fame quick first step, let me cook with you because you are going to be incredible. Quick first step, an absolutely incredible badge in NBA 2K22 MyTEAM. And so is Rebound Chaser. Now, we might move something down. I'm going to move Hustler down to top tier because it is a top tier badge, but I don't know if it's a must-have badge. Rebound Chaser is a must-have badge. So it's one of those things that a lot of times they don't give out Hall of Fame Rebound Chaser to everybody early on in 2K, at least that we've seen so far. So Rebound Chaser is one of those things that, I mean, if you go into Pro-Am, you're going to see nearly everybody have. Rhythm Shooter. For me, I see some people that have Rhythm Shooter, but for me, Rhythm shooter is like your success after breaking down a defender. Now, for me, it's probably not worthless. I'll put it in the usable category. It's not a badge I look for right now. Like, when I go over badges, I never mention rhythm shooter because for me, I don't really break down defenders and then shoot the ball. I mean, very often. Sometimes I might, but it's not very often. It's probably pretty handy, but again, not a badge that is a needed badge. Rim protector, you can argue must have or top tier. I'm going to throw it into... Both these are really good. I mean, is a rim protector better than intimidator? I don't think so. I'm going to throw it in a top tier. It's a really solid badge, a really, really good badge. I don't think it's better than any badge at that must-have category, though. And that's really what we're looking for, right? So I'm going to separate the must-haves by what they are. So playmaking, defense, and then obviously shooting. Got a lot of these Hall of Fame defensive badges, though, just because, I mean, it matters so much. And then you see some of the playmaking badges. I don't know if there's going to be a slashing badge up here. I mean, that's just the way it is. I just don't know if there's going to be a slashing badge up here at that must-have category. Rise up. I'll throw it in another usable badge. My thing is this. Doesn't really matter if you rise up and dunk the ball or, you know, lay it up. Not really. I mean, after mashing, it really doesn't matter too much. Now, one thing I will say is with Wilt Chamberlain's pink diamond, his rise up was nice because after you get an offensive rebound, I try to pump fake it, and heck, the dude would just go up and dunk the ball, which, I mean, was just kind of a nice addition to have on the card. Set shooter, I mean, a lot of people are going to throw set shooter into worthless. I'm not. It's not necessarily a badge that you need, but if you catch the badge, having a little extra time to set your feet, get things sorted out, you can get those puppies in order with set shooter. I mean, it's a pretty solid all-around badge that can definitely help you out. Now, slippery off ball, I know it's gonna go into usable. It's not. I'll throw it into. Here's the deal. This is both for current gen and next gen, and so I'll throw slippery off one to good. On current gen, where you can send back cuts, it is a extremely good badge. I hyped it up a ton last year when you could send back cuts. On next gen, it's just not really as good, and so that's kind of where I'm at right now. Slippery off ball. I mean, it still can help in the pick and roll setting if instead of getting bumped or getting stuck, a guy might swim through him. It's just not as good as it was last year. Slithery finisher is a really good badge. I think Slithery Finisher is probably my favorite all-around finishing badge in the game with Limitless Takeoff. Those two badges are probably the top two finishing badges for all-around in my team in 2K. Next up, Sniper. You guys might not think so. I think Sniper's a must-have badge, and hear me out. For 90% of the people that are watching this video, you're not going to green every shot you take. For everybody. And when you don't green, Sniper is so key to have. I can't explain that enough. It is so key to have. If you do shoot it slightly early, slightly late, Sniper's gonna give it that boost that it probably has a better chance to go in. Space Creator with now the nerf to the nerf to what was the left right kind of dribbling. Space Creator is just so much more important now. It's just the way it is. So many of my drill moves, I use Space Creator. And you guys might not think about it like a super big badge, but it is. You get you away from the defender, get you some more room to operate. And I'm putting in that top tier kind of category. Special delivery, worthless badge. It is so worthless. Stop and go, not nearly as good as it was in years past. It's okay. Like, stop and go really isn't what it once was, but I have a hard time thinking stop and go souped up because I don't really use it. Like last year I'd use stop and go. This year, I don't know if I really use it. Stop and pop, a really good badge. I'm going to put it in that top tier category. A really good shooting badge that if you don't think it deserves that top tier category, I want to know why. Like that's what I want to know. Why do you not think it deserves that top tier category? Because, I mean, if you stop with your guards and shoot it, that's really what it's used for. So a lot of people might not hype it up or think it's, the best badge in the game. But I think more people need to give credit where it's deserved. I think that is a really solid badge in general. Teardropper, another one of those worthless badges. We actually have more worthless badges than I thought we would, so I'm glad I put that tier in there because, I mean, some of these badges really are worthless. It's interesting right now in 2K because I think in my team, at the time I'm recording this, we don't have any cards with Hall of Fame tight handles in the game. So it's hard for me to say how good tight handles really is, and I'm just going to throw it into this top tier category because I really don't know. I'm thinking it's a really good badge based on some things I've read and heard maybe, but if I'm completely wrong, I'm sorry. They just haven't given it out yet, so could be completely wrong on that. Tireless Defender, Let's see. I don't even know where it went here. I thought I put it in this tier, and I did. Tireless Defender is a really good badge. Put it in that top tier badge, especially if you press. It's one of those things where you're not going to lose stamina, and your guy's still going to beat people up all the way up the court. I'm putting Triple Threat Juke in Worthless tier. I've not used Triple Threat Juke once this year, and because of that, I'm going to go into that Worthless category. Unpluckable. Look, man. As much as I've gotten plucked this year, Unpluckable is a must-have badge. I'm sorry, it is. I absolutely love Unpluckable, because if you don't have it and somebody has Pickpocket, you are getting ripped nearly every single time. Unstrippable, I'm going to put it in that good category. I mean, it is a very good badge. If you are a center, power forward, and love drop stepping, it is a must-have badge, because if somebody knows what they're doing, it's going to be really, really tough. For me, I don't really get stripped that much inside because I do whatever it takes to not. But unstrippable can definitely help with that. Volume shooter, I'm also going to put in that good category. So if you shoot a lot of shots with one player, going to be a very, very solid badge. Last but not least, I'm going to put Worm in top tier. I think Worm is one of those badges that's not nearly as important as Box. Worm's going to help you get offensive rebounds, and those definitely matter. But I do think Box is that little bit more important. So here's our final look at all of the tiers, right? Here we got, it does look like 13 badges that must have. Tier looks like 17 at top tier, 18 at good. Looks like 21 usable badges with 8 in worthless. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Is this spot on, or did I miss some? Remember, this is for my team specifically, and specifically how I use badges. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you are doing that. As always, man, I love you guys, and have a blessed day.